Hello everybody and welcome back to lashesandcream.com. Today's look is something I'm very excited about because you can definitely put it under the category or theme of Valentine's Day just because it has some hints of red in it. It's mostly inspired by the color I'm wearing on my nails and it's mainly a mix of burgundy and green. So the first thing I do as always is apply a flesh toned eyeshadow base all over the lid, up to the brow, everywhere basically where you know you're going to have some eyeshadows. So don't forget your lower lash line as well. And then as a darker base, I'm using a black kohl pencil, which I will apply all over the lid, also on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to make sure that I blend that in really well so that we have a fine, smooth layer of black that we're going to apply the powder eyeshadows on. I also apply it inside my eyes on the lower waterline and on the top waterline. And then taking a brush, a clean brush, not too fluffy, not too stiff, I just blend that all out and I make sure that I go over my crease because I personally have deep set eyes, so this is definitely up to your own preferences and eye shape. Now I made the outer corner quite V-shaped because this is the shape of the eyeshadow that I'm going to be doing. Now my first eyeshadows will go on the brow bone. It's a mix of a pink and a golden toned shimmery creams. These are by Bourjois. I've mentioned them in my favorites videos. I love these eyeshadows. Next, taking another favorite, this is from SAUVE BOX Cosmetics, the Crème de la Crème palette. I apply the silvery color all over the first 2/3 of my eyelid. Sometimes light shadows can look even lighter or stand out even more on a dark base, and this is why I use the black. Now, taking a clean brush, I'm just blending the edges on my crease just because, again, of my eye shape, I need to take the same color above the crease. But I also went in with some medium browns as well, just for a neutral crease color and a good transition color, just because I'm using quite strong colors later on. Going with a neutral on the crease is always a good idea. Now, for the outer corner, I'm using a mix of plum and I would say plum and burgundy. And now notice the shape that I'm applying this color with. On the outside corner, it's pretty thick. It covers like the whole entire outer lid. But as I go in towards the inner corner, I make the shape of the eyeshadow a bit thinner and closer to the roots of my lashes. Now, this is particularly flattering for round eye shapes. If you want to make it look more almond shaped and extended, this is what you need to do. You need to apply the bulk of the color on the absolute outer corner and then go thinner as you go in, kind of like you would do with an eyeliner. Speaking of eyeliner, I'm mapping out my shape with the exact same black kohl liner. Taking a clean stiff brush, I just blend that out. Again, I lay it down and I connect the lower lash line with the upper lash line just because this is one of my favorite shapes to do for my personal preference. And then I take a black eyeshadow and I do exactly the same with exactly the same brush, just to intensify that dark color on the lash roots. And now reapplying a bit of that reddish plum burgundy color, just to make sure it still pops out, because when you start layering eyeshadows, a lot of them will really blend in together and kind of fade each other out, so you need to bring the color back in. So you need to do that as much as you personally see fit. So moving on to the lower lash line, I'm using a very dark, rich ocean green, I'd say. And I'm going all the way on the lower lash line, and then I thicken this as much as I want. I wanted it to be pretty dramatic, so I start with the dark one at the roots of the lashes, and then the lighter one goes out as a halo all around that dark green, and mostly in the inner corner as well. And now that the eye makeup is done pretty much, I move on to concealer, which my preferred method to spread is still with a fluffy brush, as you can see. And then I take some loose powder and apply this with my Miracle Complexion Sponge by Real Techniques. I find that this sets the concealer in an amazing way, and it helps it not move, and it helps it not go into your lines. doing a bit of, no, not yet, I'm not at the contour yet. I'm just brushing away any excess powder. And then moving on to my contour, you guys have seen this before, this is my own personal technique. I use a wet brush to apply my contour and bronzer. And then I'm showing you that it makes you look less cakey than you would if you were powdered all over, basically. And just because I always like my skin to look like skin and natural, I don't mind that you can see imperfections in it. And then I take a dry brush and I just make sure that I've really blended that contour and bronzer well. Moving on to brows, I'm using Spiked by MAC, which I find is a bit of a dark color, although it is the color of my eyebrows, but I always like my eyebrows to be a tad lighter than they normally would. Just mapping out my shape, and since I have pretty straight and eyebrows that kind of go downwards at the outer corner, I'm always faking a bit of an arch because I find that it's much more flattering if you have straight brows or, you know, slanted downwards brows. And then I just fill all of that in with some medium brown eyeshadows. And then I take my MAC brow gel. This one is in Beguile. This is really to make the color lighter. As I said, I always like my eyebrows to be soft and light colored compared to my hair color, for example. And I take a clean spoolie and I really brush that through so that you can't tell that there's a whole gel or liquidy texture on them. This is the part where you would curl your lashes and apply false lashes if you want to. I did not want to personally. I wasn't going out after this, so I'm going in with my favorite mascara. All the products will be listed below, by the way. And yeah, and this is the finished look. And I went in with a color on the lips that really complements that burgundy that's on the eyes, and it complements what's on my nails. I kind of like going in with very similar colors on different sections of the face or on the nails, etc. I just like to do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. As usual, please comment, subscribe, share, and like, and all products will be listed below. Thank you so much. See you soon.